Good afternoon. It's Saturday, July 26th. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. Wow, it's still legal. Still legal today, I believe. We ask this question every time we go on because I'm not sure how much longer it will be. There's a lot going on as usual. Thank you for joining me. I feel I'd be remiss if I did not mention the passing of Hulk Hogan because I did not mention it last time. I was done with the show and I realized, well, I didn't even bring it up. I think I've said on this show numerous times I never was a big wrestling fan beyond the age of like 12 once I realized that it wasn't real. And it's basically just a soap opera for men, and I'm like, I'm not into that, so I stopped watching. There is no denying Hulk Hogan's place in the history of professional wrestling. That is true. He was right in this sweet spot when wrestling went from regional. What's up, Julia? Went from a regional entertainment circle to like Vince McMahon brought it national. He swallowed up all the other little wrestling companies, and he basically created a monopoly. Now, a lot of people say, Hulk Hogan's a legend, and it's sad that he died, and and some people say Hulk Hogan was a racist piece of shit, and it's good he died, and I don't personally take pleasure in anyone's death, but I side more with he was a racist piece of shit people, because he was a racist piece of shit. It's very evident when you hear that tape where he's talking to his daughter that he's a racist piece of shit. But now his family is saying, I saw online, his family was saying, this is not the time to call someone a racist, that he died, and then you should just talk about the good things. And I think that brings up an interesting philosophical question, which is, what is the point of being a good person if when you die, they're just going to scrub all the horrible things you did and pretend that you were a good person anyway? It's like, yeah, the guy died, but he did some horrible shit, like he fucked his friend's wife while he was married. That's pretty bad. He's a racist piece of shit on the tape. He's dropped the N-word left and right. It's obvious how he felt about black people. So, if you're a good person and when you die they say good things about you, but if you're a bad person, when you die, all we can say is good things about you, then what's the point of being a good person? If they're just going to scrub all the bad things you did when you were if you're an asshole. No, it doesn't work like that. It's like, you're a dick. You're like, hey, I got an idea. How about you don't do horrible shit? Now, everybody makes mistakes in their life and has done things, but when there's a pattern of events, he exposed himself for money, is what he did when he sued that Gawker or whatever. And there's an internet conspiracy theory that all that was perpetrated by Peter Thiel because Peter Thiel was mad that Gawker outed him as gay. So he used Hulk Hogan to destroy Gawker. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. But, I mean, when you look at how these people operate, like, It's not beyond the realm of possibility now, is it? But that's my basic point I wanted to make is that it doesn't work like that. That if you're a good person, when you die, they say good things about you. Yes. But if you're a bad person, all they're gonna do is say good things about you. Then there's no incentive, is there? It's like, well, everybody's just gonna forget all the horrible things that he did, and they're just gonna, say good things about him. It's like, well, then why? What's the reward to the good people? You're just putting him in the same category as good people. Yep, Hulk Hogan and Mother Teresa, they were exactly the same, It's like, that's not how it fucking works. I got an idea. How about you don't be a racist piece of shit? And then people won't call you that. It's pretty simple. I mean, I'm not here to bash on the dude, because I said, I don't really take pleasure in anyone dying. But I don't think that you can pretend after someone dies that they weren't an asshole. It's like, dude was an asshole. It's like, okay, an asshole is dead. Okay, then. I'm not going to dance in the street or anything, but I'm also not going to cry and pretend like it's a big loss to the fucking human race, because it isn't. If you ask me, the wrestlification of everything, including politics, is why we're in this fucking position. And remember he was at the RNC talking about how great Trump is, ripping off his shirt. Trump's gonna bring America great. It was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. It's like, okay, you can be a wrestler and a big meathead and rip your shirt off and shit, that's fine, but not when you're talking about running the fucking country, bro. That's why we're in trouble. This country's falling apart. Another plane, I'm gonna hit a plane. And there's a pattern of events here that drunk Hegseth seems to just fly out military aircraft all the time and not tell anybody where they're flying or what they're doing. And the Southwest jet almost hit a fighter jet. And they're on TV talking about, what can we do? What can we do about this? We need to update this. And yes, these things are all true. We need to update the air traffic control system. Yes, we need to hire more air traffic controllers, which is a Republican problem again, because Reagan's the one that fired all the motherfuckers. And then 30 years later, we're still fucking dealing with this shit. This is why I'm telling you is, you fucked around and elected these people. It's your children and their children who are going to have to deal with these problems that you've created. And like I said, all the things they said are true that we need to do. We need to update the air traffic control system, yes. We need to hire more air traffic controllers, yes. But the number one thing we could do right now is not have idiots in charge of everything whose basic qualification is that they lick Donald Trump's nuts. You got a reality TV star who is on Road Rules, is running the TSA. Now, do you think that this guy really knows what he's doing? Julia says she doesn't say nice things about bad people. She doesn't give a fuck what anyone else says. My sister's father is a good example. He was an abusive piece of shit, and I said so. Motherfucker offed himself on my birthday, and I celebrated. Right. And he killed himself, right? And people go, oh, this is a tragedy. Is it? No, he's an asshole. He's gone. Probably better for most people. It's like, again, I don't celebrate someone's death, but in that instance, like, if you have a personal, like, vendetta against, or a personal beef with somebody, yes, I could see celebrating a death. You go, yes, they're fucking finally that piece of shit is dead. It's like, you know him personally, and he's done something personally to fuck you over, like you probably would. Like if a guy fucked your wife, stole your wife, broke up your marriage or whatever, the guy dies, you go, fuck yeah, I'm glad he's dead. It's like, I didn't kill him, but I'm not sad, that's for sure. Yes, Doug, I do. I do kiss my mother with this mouth. And anyone else that'll have me. I just think it's sanctimonious to pretend like we gotta forget all the horrible things the guy did because he's dead. It's like, no. It doesn't, he's dead now, you gotta just polish up the gravestone and pretend like he was a nice guy. Like, no. That's not how it works. Guy was a dick. Now there is one person I will celebrate when they fucking die. And I think we all know who that is. I'm not even gonna say the fucking name. But I will. I've never drank Dom Perignon ever in my life because I could never justify spending that much money for a bottle of champagne. But when this piece of shit dies, I'm gonna drink the whole bottle. I don't care how much it costs. We're gonna celebrate this. Because it's good for everyone. It's good for the world. It's good for us. This motherfucker needs to go. Anyway. And it's that thing. Right? This guy's been an asshole his whole fucking life. If he's gonna die, everybody's just gonna scrub the record clean. Right? Oh, he was a nice guy. He was good president, good for the country. It's like, no, he was not good for anything. You see this, they said, we ain't got no money, they said, right? But all of a sudden, they're going to spend $650 million to build alligator Alcatraz all over the country. Just like I said before. I just keep predicting the future on this show. They're going to build one in every state. With FEMA money. We can't afford public schools, public broadcasting. We can afford this. You know why? Because they own these companies. This is all a private venture. Do you understand this? How this works? It's called a grift. It's really what's wrong with the fucking government altogether, all the way up and down the chain. And this guy said he's going to drain the swamp. They are the swamp! They own these prison companies. They secretly met with them before they got elected. They set up this whole thing. And to funnel all this money to these private companies where they all own stock, they're going to divvy up this money amongst themselves. It's a scam. We just keep falling for it. We just keep falling for it. It's unbelievable. And now, I'm going to predict the future again. And I'm going to say it now. Like, usually I don't, but I'm making a prediction. Right now. Usually I just say things and they just happen to happen. But this time I'm going to make a prediction. They're already buttering you up. This guy, Greg Kelly, was on Newsmax. First of all, I explained to you 100 times again. I'll explain it one more time for people who are just new to this show, maybe found me. There is a machine that they have. It's a brainwash machine. It's a media empire that they use to brainwash people. It starts at podcasters, and then it goes to OANs and the Newsmaxes and the fucking Charlie Kirks and the fucking Glenn Becks and the fucking Steve Bannons, and then it goes to Fox. Fox is like the head of the chain, right? They're already buttering you up for the fact that Trump is going to give this woman, Ghislaine Maxwell, some kind of deal. A pardon, or a clemency, or a reduction of her sentence. Because this guy, Greg Kelly, was on Newsmax. I don't know if it was last night or the night before. He's talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, and he says, and I swear to God, I quote, he says, you know, I think she might just be a victim too. She might be a victim of Jeffrey Epstein, and she doesn't belong in prison, and it's really a tragedy all around. Really? This bitch groomed girls for Jeffrey Epstein, and she's a victim? Really? Why would he do that? Why would he say that? You're talking about a sex trafficking pedophile who's been convicted and sentenced to 20 plus years in prison for grooming little girls for Jeffrey Epstein and his clientele. And she's now a victim? Why would you even say something like that? If you're not trying to butter up people. For what's coming. Alright, hold on. I'm getting a lot of comments now. Alec wants to go back. I'm going to come back to this Ghislaine Maxwell thing because I'm not finished. But Alex says, Hulk Hogan's family is so disrespectful to karma racists at a time like this. Me, it was so disrespectful for him to call someone the N-word at a time like any time ever. Exactly! He's an asshole! A racist piece of shit. And just because he's dead doesn't absolve him of that. Doug, okay. Thanks for tuning in, Doug. Doug says, it's the fucking government. Doesn't matter who's in charge. They have plush budgets with free money. The name of the game and working government contract is to make sure the redistribution of wealth is in the contractor's favor. It's a big sham. Played the game in upstate New York for 20 years. It's lucrative if you do it right, but never forget that you owe a favor and it may be called in at any time. Yes, like the mafia. I told you when my aunt was married to a rich guy and I saw his book, and his book was letters from Republican presidents and Democratic presidents and said, thank you for the money. Because they just give money to both. This is whoever gets elected, they go, remember that money I gave you? He was big into coal. That's how he made his money off coal. So, it was like, you're going to keep the regulation down and not interfere in my business too much, That's what they pay the money for. But this is a different kind of grift. This is where they create a problem where the solution just conveniently happens to be them. It's like, we're going to lock up all these people. How you going to do that? Well, we got private prison company. You're going to build all of them. And, I don't know if you know this, instead of leasing the prisoners up to work for $1 a day. Oh, we got slavery again. Legalized slavery. I told you these people are Confederates. That's what they are. You elected the remnants of the Confederacy. They're trying to confederize the United States. We'll lock up all the colored people and use them for cheap labor. God bless the South. It's unbelievable what I like to say what we've become, but I mean, the truth is, right, we've kind of always been this, haven't we? It's just exactly like the guy dies and you gotta pretend he's good. The United States is the same thing. It's like, oh, you gotta pretend it's good because you're an American and you live here. So you gotta forget all the bad shit that happened and only think about the good. It's the land of the free and the home of the brave. Ain't nobody free or brave in this fucking country. Bunch of cowards and nut lickers, boot licking fascists, racists. It's like, I mean, the country has a lot of good people too, but half of it is fucking scumbags, bro. You gotta realize. I think that's every country, really. Like I said, because like Danielle said, you can go anywhere. I mean, I've gone over that before. Like, wherever you go, there's one. You know, they got Nazis everywhere. Yes, Julia says, like independent contractors who sabotage your outside AC unit, then knock on the door offering to fix it. Yeah, exactly. See, I see your fan stopped working. It's like on your AC unit. I just happen to have the blades right here because I took them off of your unit. That'll be $5,000. That's all this country is, a fucking scam. It's one scam after another. And if you say, hey, we need to stop this and like make the system work for people, they go, you're a communist. Socialist. Pinko, or whatever they used to call them. It's like, people still use those terms from like the 1950s. And it's like that's even applicable today. Like I said, if you ever have met like a real communist, like I've never met one, like ever. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but I've never met them. There's not that many of them. Or, you know, like a Marxist, like a real Marxist who's like, I believe that the government should own all the production. Yes, I've never heard anyone say that. But they use that, like as a boogeyman, like a cudgel, just any questioning of the capitalist system. You know, they go, you know, hey man, maybe this ain't right, maybe there's a better way to do something. Communist! It's like, because these rich people, they don't want to give up their fucking... That's really what this is all about. These rich elites see that they saw that the world was getting away from them. You know, like, oh no, you know, you can't have, you know, everybody, the whole world working together on climate change and all this other shit, you know, and regulations that go worldwide. Like, oh, that's a harsh business. They gotta fucking. It's people like, we need Medicare for all. Oh no, it's like we can't have that. No. What we need is to restructure the tax code permanently so that rich people continually get a tax break in perpetuity. It's going to cause a $4 trillion deficit. We don't give a shit. Now, to fix that, they want to just take over the Fed, cut interest rates themselves. Which will collapse the dollar and cause a depression. They don't seem to understand that. But remember, Scott Disick said that Donald Trump is the most economically sophisticated president we ever had. Meanwhile, he still ain't got no deals. And even the deals he offers, or says he has, they're bullshit. And he just said he made that deal with Japan, just like I told you. Japan's going to come out and say, this never happened. And what happened? Japan came out and said, we don't know what the fuck you're talking about. What do you mean we're going to give you $500 billion and we ain't going to get nothing out of it? Really? They said, no, we didn't sign nothing like that. Of course they didn't. No one's just going to give you $500 billion, bro. It's not going to happen. He's like, we get to keep 90% of the profits. Like, really? He's like, can I just hold $500 billion? I don't want to really borrow it. I just want to hold on to it. That's what he said. That's the deal. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, this is part of the deal. I just announced a deal. And, hey. And again, these lies. It's like, oh, country's doing great. There's no inflation. Meanwhile, inflation's already ticked up almost 1%. I don't know if you notice this, but prices are getting higher. They ain't getting lower. That's called inflation. He's like, it doesn't exist. There's $1.99 gas. Where? Where is this gas? And the press just sits there. Did you see him go to Scotland? I want to move to Europe because I said the European press, they ain't fuck around at all. At all. It's like, this guy asked him, I swear to God. This guy, I couldn't hear the audio, so I didn't hear what he sounded like, his accent. So I don't know if he was British, Indian guy, or if he was an Indian guy. But I would imagine he was in the British press because they're in Scotland. He was an Indian guy, and he asked Trump, he goes, do you feel bad at all about the thousands of lies you've told to the American people? And he was like, what? And he just said, next question. But he didn't answer the question. He moved on, but the guy asked the question. He's like, do you not feel like a piece of shit? Because of course he doesn't. Donald Trump doesn't have any feelings, emotions, not like a regular person. He's a psychopath. It's a sociopathic liar. Compulsive liar. He's lying all the time. If he's talking, he's lying. He said, I never knew that my name was in the Epstein file. They never told me. It's like they fucking told you. No, that's why you had 10,000 FBI agents scrubbing the files for 24-hour shifts for 3 or 4 or 5 times. They went through all of it, they said. Meanwhile, there's still crime in that country to run. Where's the FBI? They're in the file room going through these files. He doesn't know that his name is in. Really? And this is back to the point that I was making about Ghislaine Maxwell. What they're going to do is, you're going to trot her out, and she's going to name a bunch of people. She's going to say, oh, Bill Clinton and all these Democrats was on the island, and Bill Gates and all these people. Not Donald Trump. Oh, no, never. I never saw Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, I don't know where you got all those pictures of me with him, because I never met the man. And with all these people, and that was it. And then they're going to go, see, we told you. And then, that's it, case closed. And she gets a pardon or a reduction of a sentence. And you never see those files, ever. That's what's going to happen. Now, is he going to get away with it? That's another question. Are you going to stand for that? I don't know. Is Mega Base going to stand for that? I don't know. But that's his plan. Don't think it isn't. He's going to trot her out like a hero. She's going to go, I'm exposing all the pedophiles. And meanwhile, she's already been convicted of perjury. And during her trial, they said, this bitch lies more than... She cannot be trusted. Right? And it's not suspicious at all that Trump's personal lawyer, who also happens to be the assistant attorney general, deputy attorney general, whatever the fuck his title is meeting her in private, in secret. Like, nothing to see here. And now, all of a sudden, she's a victim. She's a victim, too. Jeffrey Epstein manipulated her and made her groom these girls for him. And I'm like, what? Yes, you should feel bad for her, too. And when she dies, we should always say nice things. Like, when she's going to die. I'm sorry, I let that slip. It's like, when she's dead, we should only say nice things about her, which will be in about 3 weeks. Mysteriously, she's going to. Now, here's the thing. Generally, I say that the conspiracy theorists are fucking dumb. Because most of the time, they are. You know, it's like the Pizzagate thing. It's like, come on, man. What they do is reaching and creating things to try to fit things into what they hope. And this Epstein thing is the same thing. Except it's a real conspiracy. But what happened was they chased the fake part. They're like, oh, it's all Democrats and the Epstein files, and if we open them up, we're going to find them. Oh, the deep state Democrats, they're the ones, you know. When you got to the files and opened them, you go, oh, man. There's a lot of Republicans in here. And then Trump's all over. It's like, yes. You had a conspiracy in your head, but you're so fucking dumb that you fell for the bullshit distraction on the other side, and you let these very people manipulate the shit out of you because you're in a cult. Because you hate trans people and immigrants. And never tell me that a conservative can be taken seriously ever again. Ever again. You turn on Fox now and see you turn on Newsmax and trying to butter up this Maxwell chick. They don't care. They're fanatics. That pedophilia apparently is not a deal breaker if you're in a cult. Because apparently being able to abuse immigrants and deport them at will and violate their fucking rights and to shit on trans people, you know, and maybe take away the gay marriage and all the things that you don't like. Apparently, you're willing to trade being run by pedophiles as long as you get all that horrible shit that you want. You're soulless meat bags of shit walking around. Yes, Ivana died. She fell down the stairs. The old Russian. She mysteriously fell down the stairs right before her non-disclosure agreement with Trump was about to end. And she could talk about all the stuff that had happened. Like when she accused him of raping her, his own wife. We've gone, like I said, we've turned everything in this country so political that, yeah, she's buried on the golf course. Yes, exactly. How respectful to your ex-wife. Where is she? She's over there off the side of the green on hole 18. Like, it's unbelievable. And it's like I said, you have no credibility, the right wing, in this country anymore. None. Zero. Zilch. Ever again will I take you seriously about any fucking thing you say. If you're gonna let this stand. Like I said, now, I don't know if he's gonna get away with it, but that's his plan. I guarantee you. He's gonna trot her out. I said, like a hero. Just like he did with Tulsi Gabbard the other day. She comes out and says all this bullshit about how Obama was treasonous and they're all trying to... It's a coup, that's what they're saying. Never mind that bipartisan commissions and special prosecutors and all kinds of people have investigated this back and forth and up and down. And they didn't find any of that. But because Trump says it must be true, right? I said the other day, I don't know why anybody listens to a fucking thing he says. The Europeans, you could tell when they're questioning him that they know he's full of shit all the time. You can't believe anything he says. Now, here's my other question. Do you feel safe Now that they're politicizing this intelligence shit and releasing it all to the public in an attempt to distract from Trump's problems and to accuse other people of treason and shit. Do you think other countries are going to show us their intelligence? Fuck no, they're not. We're in the dark now. But don't worry, Cash Patel and Dan Bongino, they're here to keep us safe. Two conspiracy podcasters who, once they got to the FBI, realized they were wrong about every fucking thing. And that seems to be Bongino's only concern now, is that he's lost credibility, and how can he go back to being a conspiracy podcaster when he's been proven that he's full of shit? He's not going to do a goddamn thing. But Julia said, actually, there only her ashes there, but it took 10 big men to carry the casket full of top secret documents. I don't know what they buried there. It's like a time capsule. Exactly, Ken. That's it. They got the FBI scrubbing through files, looking for Trump's name instead of working on. And they said, "Oh, we got to deport all these immigrants because human trafficking is such a big problem." And then what do? They shut down the human trafficking department. They don't give two fucks about any of that. If a terrorist attack was to happen right now, it would be directly because the entire government is distracted, trying to cover up whatever there is in the file that Trump doesn't want you to see. There's something in there he doesn't want you to see. Now, what that is, I don't know. But there's something in there that he very much does not want you to see. Which is very apparent by how he's been acting. And when they said the story that, like, in May, they told him that his name was in the file. If you go back and look, he started acting real funny right about then. First, he was like really thrown off. He was like, "Well, why are you talking about this? Where's your meet up?" Made him look real guilty. Now he's kind of calmed down and he's gone back to his old standard playbook of, well, it's a hoax and a witch hunt and you know, people are falling for this, but it's really nothing, you know. But even if it's nothing, but I have the old FBI scrubbing through the files because it's nothing, you know. And he's like, well, there might be some stuff in there, but it was made up, you know, by Democrats. And like, the files have been around since he was president. Again, who was president when Jeffrey Epstein died in prison? And 3 minutes of that tape was scrubbed out? Ooh, who was it? Obama? No. Hillary? No. Hillary was never the president. It's like, Biden? No. Donald Trump? Trump was president. There you go, pay my old friend a visit. Well, not me, of course, but you know, I send a guy, pay him a visit. You can't strangle somebody with them tiny little hands. Trump don't have strangler's hands. It's like a toddler trying to choke you. Julia, rules for thee, not for me, is his mindset. Yes. He feels completely invincible. And it's the system's fault. The system, again, it's tilted for rich people. Rich people can get away with anything. If you do anything, you got enough money, you can get away with it. Like Diddy, he skated out of that. I mean, he didn't skate out. He's going to go to jail, but he ain't going to go to jail for life. He's probably going to do, 5 years. He'll get out. I'm surprised they finally got R. Kelly. I mean, I think that R. Kelly was like, there was no way to deny. It still took a long time. He got away with that shit forever. No one wanted to do anything. Why? Because he's rich. Now, you or I did any of those things, you're going to jail immediately. No bail. You're going to jail. You're never getting out. You're going to have a trial, yes, but you have a public defender. Your trial will last about 1 hour. They have these trials, these big long trials, these rich people. Like, oh, it lasted a month sometimes. It's like, you ever seen a regular person have a trial that lasted a month? Hell no! They railroad the shit out of you. Most of the time, they force them to take plea deals to things that they didn't even do. Because if they went to court, it would be worse for them. I know a girl, her son was in trouble. He was in jail for almost 3 years before he even went to trial. He didn't go to trial. He wound up, they said they scared him at the end, and he wound up taking a plea deal because if he went to trial, they're like, you could get life in prison, so, you take 10 years and be happy, In the meantime, he's like, I didn't do anything, but they ain't got the money to fight. And these people like Trump, they got the money. He's filing a lawsuit every 5 fucking seconds. Julius says, you must have so much shit on almost everyone in D.C. They're all nut-licking pussies. No one has the guts to stand up to them because they're all on the take. Get money out of politics and shit will change. Yes. That's what Bernie says all the time. It's true. That's why a lot of countries have, I said, publicly financed elections, and there's caps on how much money can be spent. Because, see, that's the problem is, like what's happening now. They're already here running ads against Massey. The election's not till next year. Trump's here spending money right now. They got like, Thomas Massey votes with the Democrats. Thomas Massey's for trans kids in your daughter's bathroom. Thomas Massey is for... They have a picture of a... I wish I could show it to you. It's like an evil tranny. I keep asking myself, where did they get this picture from? It's like a picture, it's a split screen. It's like Massey and then this evil tranny is like, and there's like a fan blowing her hair and like, it's like, Thomas Massey's for trans people. In the meantime, it's like, that's totally not true. Massey's not for trans people. I mean, he doesn't thump that, like against him too much, but he's not like voting for trans people to play in sports and shit. He's not. He's voting with the Republicans on it. And they don't care. They lie. They don't lie about their own people. They lie. That's the point. It's like they don't tell the truth about anything ever. And I meant what I said. I'm going to work for Massey. I'm going to go volunteer to help Massey not lose his seat to. And I hope to God, I'm not even religious, you know this, but it's my fervent wish that it's Scott Jennings that they try to run against Massey so I can fight that fucker too, because I hate that son of a bitch. And then I say, oh, I can fight Trump and Scott Jennings at the same time. Sign me up. It's like, I gotta be with Massey. Whatever, I'm with him. And this is when you know it's desperate times. You start going, hey, I used to not like that guy, but like now we're on the same side because everyone against Trump now. Trump versus the world. Which is really how it is. How he's even in charge, I have no idea. Everybody hates him. I mean, the people I love, except his cult, I said, but the problem is that, like I said, the cult are fanatics. They're going to get up. They're going to vote. I said that before. It's like the only way to fight fanatics is to become a fanatic yourself, and it's hard to get the people who are apathetic and the people who are in the middle, the people who think that politics doesn't really affect them, to get up, and to do something. Because if you did, these people would never have power ever. That's the point, is they have to distract you with all kinds of bullshit. And make you feel like, or make you feel like they try to paint like Democrats are communists and radical leftists. Like, can you believe for 1 second, and this is true by the polling, it works. People in America believe the Democrats are radical. Meanwhile, these motherfuckers got a secret police. They got concentration camps. They're snatching people off the streets and deporting them. That's not radical. It's like the right has this uncanny ability to just like sling bullshit and project onto other people what they are. And then you go, oh, I gotta save it from them, I gotta vote for them, but they are the people. Yes, Julius, that stupid AI image he shared on the social says, I was hunted, now I'm the hunter. Cracked me up. Yes, pretty funny. It's a hunter of bullshit. Witch hunter. It's like, when do we get to the part of the witch hunt that we're like, we can burn this fucker at the stake? That's what I want to know. That's the part I want to get to as fast as possible. Here's the thing, and it's true. He's not going to be able to keep this up. I mean, we're only 6 months in. You see how crazy it is. It's not going to... Everybody's ignoring all this shit because it's a circus. But, like, underneath the surface, there's flashing red signs everywhere. Like, it's not a sustainable model that they're running here. And these files are going to come out. He doesn't want to release them. It doesn't matter. Wall Street Journal and people like that, they're already seeing the files. They're already getting into it. They're just cracking the surface. This stuff's going to come out sooner or later. There's going to be some whistleblower somebody somewhere is like an old spy movie. They're taking, taking little pictures of the files. Like, they're going to come out. He's not going to be able to tamp this down forever. And if you think, like I said, I guarantee you that that's his plan. To wheel out Ghislaine Maxwell and for her to throw a bunch of names out there and him to go, look, we got to the bottom of it and that's it. She's a great hero. It deserves clemency or a pardon and nothing. That's the end of the story. Let's move on. That's his plan. To try to scrub this. Now, is it going to work? I don't know. But like I said, you see already, like I said, the right-wing media moving in lockstep behind him to, well, she's a victim now. Ghislaine Maxwell, you gotta think. And he was talking like that too, all quiet, like it's a sad story. It's sad how Jeffrey Epstein, manipulated all these women, including Ghislaine Maxwell, to do these horrible things, It's like, dude, his pictures around the private jet, rubbing his feet and shit. She's a sex trafficking pedophile, bro. There ain't nothing you can do to change that. It's like, I know, no, she's a victim. And herself, and never mind that she didn't give up any of this information at the trial, and she sat there and took 20 years in the face and kept her mouth shut. And now, just now, when Trump is in trouble, she's going to come out of the box and be like, well, I'm ready to tell everything. Of course you are, because you know he's desperate to get out of this, and he'll give you a pardon. And if the MAGA people take this... Now, I haven't watched Joe Rogan in a long time, but I'm kind of curious to watch, to see what he has to say about all this stuff. Because, I mean, if he's going to go down this road too, it's like, really, man? Because Rogan has become dangerously close to what I said when I first started the show about this psychological experiment of how much shit they'll take before they say they were wrong. I think Joe Rogan knows he was wrong now. Because a lot of people don't like Rogan, but I really don't think that Rogan is like the asshole right-wing guy, I don't think that, because for a long time he was liberal. Like, me and Danielle were talking about it before when I had Danielle on the show about, like, the left went after Rogan for saying the N-word or whatever, and then they piled on, and they forced him over to the right, but he's not really a right-wing guy. So that was all kind of he was like a man with no home. It's like, where do you go? And I will admit, this show is called Bruce Leonard Leans Left, and I do lean left. But I will admit, those extreme leftist fucks, they're just as annoying as the Trump Nazis. Anybody that has zero-sum views, is a fanatic and a Nazi, and most of those people are assholes. Doesn't matter if they're left or right. The real world is not black and white. That's the problem. The real world is a bunch of compromising, and like even in a marriage or anything like that. Right? You have a successful marriage, right? You have to compromise. You can't have a successful marriage where like one person just declares all the rules and how it is. And somebody's not going to be happy. Society's the same way, because it's human beings. There is no zero-sum, everything's got to be like this, and everything's got to be like this, The truth is, things are complicated and messy. And it takes a lot of, like I said, compromising and empathizing with other people's positions and trying to figure out a way that everybody can feel happy about something. And that's how they used to pass bills and laws, but they don't do that anymore. Now, whoever's in power jams whatever, jam it. Until they go, and then the other people get the power to go, we got to jam this. And now we're just jerking violently from left to right, to left to right. And, like, that's not a way to run a country, because eventually you're going to jerk the whole thing apart. And that's where we're at now. The truth is, you got to get back to, good people and being in the government. The problem is when we let the government become infiltrated by scumbags and dumb motherfuckers. There should be some kind of a test. You should have to take a test of some sort to be in the Congress or to be a senator or whatever. Because I guarantee you, Tuberville would have never passed any of these tests. He's an idiot. Not Tim Burchett. He's a fucking moron. They're not going to pass these tests. Now, some of these guys would. Ted Cruz is a slimeball, but I believe that he's pretty intelligent. He doesn't seem like a moron when he's talking. I don't agree with anything he says, but he doesn't sound like an idiot. Well, I mean, I guess Tucker Carlson made him sound like an idiot. Like for example, like Tucker said, it is true. I hardly ever agree with Tucker Carlson, but Tucker Carlson asked him how many people live in Iran, and he couldn't say. And he's like, you don't know that? He's like, I'm sorry, I don't spend my time studying the population of Iran. He's like, yes, but you want to overthrow the country, right? You said. So at least you should know something about it, because that's what happened in Iraq. It's easy to say, oh, I'm going to overthrow Saddam Hussein. It's like, yeah, but Saddam Hussein was like a pillar that was holding all this shit, from going absolutely fucking crazy. And without him, there was a power vacuum, and all the Sunnis and the Shias, and then the ISIS forms, and then it's like they didn't think about that. They just go, get rid of Saddam, because they don't understand the world. These aren't intellectual people. They're reactionary politicians. And this is a dumb country, so we elect dumb people. Like Marge. Or Lauren Boebert. The fact that Lauren Boebert was jerking a guy off in a fucking theater, and she's still in the Congress, tells you just how far off the chain we are. We're past any moral. There is no moral. They're gone. It's like, there used to be rules and ethics. And if you were that much of a scumbag, you couldn't be in the Congress. I'm surprised. George Santos just went to prison. And I'm surprised they even did that. He's the first guy that threw out of Congress in 100 years or whatever. Threw him out. They voted to throw him out. There's several people in the Congress. They should have done that too a long fucking time ago. But they didn't. Santos was just like, there was just too many things. Just keep too many. It's like... They're like, man, we gotta get this guy out of here. And he was an idiot. He wasn't qualified to be a congressperson. How he got elected? He only got elected because he ran as a Republican, and people in the Republican district are like, we're not voting for Democrats. We'll vote for this guy. And that's the problem. That's why you have Texas and places like that, where they vote for people and people die because of their incompetence or their archaic religious views that are imposed upon the population, which causes, like the abortion thing, it caused women to die. I went over that the other day. And people just keep voting for him. So they're like, I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. That's why I'm scared. You think people in this country are going to wake up and realize the danger they're in and vote all these people out of office? Because that's what needs to happen. Is that going to happen? I don't think so. You've got swaths and swaths of ignorant, redneck fuck people who are like, I'm not going to vote for a Democrat, no matter what. They're communists. It's like, meanwhile, they don't even know what communism is. It's just like a catchword that they can say if they don't like somebody. He's a communist. What is a communist? Well, it's Stalin. It's insanity. And it's just like Trump is like, it's like every day we just pretend like things aren't off the chain and everything's normal, and it's not. It's not. It's not normal to have mass people jacking people up off the streets in America, or to build tent fucking prisons overnight, with no plumbing and shit, and be like, yeah, this is totally acceptable. This is what they do in third world countries, bro. It says it's America. And if it is, then America ain't no different than a third world country. And I don't want to hear any of your fucking bullshit how we're so fucking great. We're not great. We have a lot of money and a lot of military power. We're all gonna kill ourselves anyway. They're racing to build super intelligence. That's what I was reading it today. It's like now there's a big race, and Meta is Zuckerberg is like scalping other AI tech wizards from other places like Apple and shit. He's hiring them. He's offering them more money and bringing them over to Meta. And he wants to be the first. He's gonna build super intelligence. And you're like, dude, this is gonna kill us all. You know this, right? They can't control the AI they got now. They're gonna make it super intelligent. I believe that the Terminator story is not that far off the truth about what's really going to happen to us. Sooner or later, these super intelligent computers are going to be like, these people are dumb as fuck and are probably a danger to the planet, and we should probably get rid of them. They build their own automated factories and build a bunch of shit. They kill us. And all the books that have been written, and all the movies that have been made, all the cautionary tales thrown to the wind. Because people, once they believe something, like I said, like climate change, if you believe climate change is a hoax, you're going to stand here all day and watch all this horrible shit happen, which I thought that would change people's minds, but it hasn't. I seen a guy the other day said, he still called it the climate religion. It's like, dude, there's whole towns washed out. It's like, fires burning everywhere. The ocean's hotter than it's ever been. It's like, you don't think this is happening? Nope. It's all liberal hoax. It's like, but perpetrated by communists who want to. As much as I want to say, I know this is supposed to be like a humorous coffee show, but as much as I want to say that there's hope for us, there is no hope for us. Just try to enjoy your life, because that's all you could control. This machine that we've created is out of control. It's barreling down the road towards a bridge out situation, and then we're going to drive the human race right off the fucking cliff, like Thelma and Louise at the end of that fucking movie. And God help you if you have children, and you know, like, just prepare them the best that you can. And they said, and again, you gotta try and enjoy yourself. That's all you can do, because the rest of it is pretty hopeless if you really look into it. Julia says, I'll read another obit weekly besides Dumbledore as Moscow Mitch McConnell's obituary. Yes, did I tell you that? I waited 3 hours one day, almost 4 hours outside, just so I could tell him to go fuck himself. There were so many people out there that he stayed inside. He didn't want to face the people, so he stayed inside. He just kept staying inside, and most people left. So there was only a handful of us left. So when he came out, we were right there on the sidewalk, and I told him, "Hey, go fuck yourself, you piece of shit." It's where the original "fuck Trump" memes came from, because I had my "fuck Trump" shirt on, and I got caught in a live shot on live TV, and somebody was my Facebook follower saw it on TV and took a picture of it. I saw him doing a live shot, so I slid over into the shot with my "fuck Trump" shirt on. It's a live shot; they can't edit it out. It's like that was a good day, actually. It was a good day. I was talking to the local news anchor with my "fuck Trump" shirt on. He was looking at my shirt like this. I was like, yeah, fuck him. Anyway, I'm gonna go work for Massey. I'm not kidding. It's like It's gonna happen. So get ready. And when I do that, I'm gonna document it. So of course, it'll be part of this show. In some way or another, and maybe I'll get to meet Thomas Massey. Maybe he'll sit down with me for a little chat, and that's what I hope in the end. I can get something out of it. But fighting Trump's enough. I love it when Johnson tried to shut the house down and they tried to run away. Massey said, "Well, I'm just gonna bring this back up as soon as we come back." It's like, that's why I like him. I don't agree with him on much. But the guy knows how to be an irritating prick, and he's doing it to Trump, and so that's good enough for me. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. There's a festival down on the river. I'm going to go down, get some food, check it out. As always, thank you for hanging out. And if you just found me on Twitch today, I appreciate that. Please click like, follow. I only need like 30 something to become a Twitch affiliate. So please, I need people. Click on it. And try to enjoy your weekend. And I said I'll be back on Tuesday at 6 p.m. I am Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. Thank you very much. I'll be back Tuesday at 6. Go out and enjoy your weekend, please. I love you guys.